One day in Mr. Porter's 5th grade class.
Stand up, please.
Student would be joining us in a few weeks. Her name was Lisa, and she has cerebral palsy. Does anyone know what cerebral palsy is?
I know that kids who have it are handicapped.
That's right, Karen. Does anyone know anything more about it? It's a condition that a person is sometimes born with. It prevents the person from developing motor skills properly.
What are motor skills?
Motor skills are basically movement skills. Babies born with cerebral palsy often have a hard time learning to roll over, sit up, stand, or walk. They can develop these skills, but it takes them much longer than usual, sometimes many years.
How do they learn these skills?
They usually need a lot of physical therapy to learn to control and develop their muscles. Sometimes kids with cerebral palsy are helped by wearing braces. They and their parents have to work hard and have a lot of patience.
I guess if you have cerebral palsy, you can play any regular sport and stuff.
Right, but the condition can improve with time.
Why do always some people get cerebral palsy?
Scientists are not entirely sure. In general, some scientists believe it's the result of not enough oxygen getting to the brain in early stages of development.
You mean before baby is born?
That's right, Tony. Before, during, and just after their birth are very critical times for the baby.
Bobby, what's so important about oxygen? Look, I can't go without it.
Thanks for that demonstration, Bobby. I think you have helped us see exactly why oxygen is so important. We really can't go without it for more than a minute or two. Thanks to Bobby, we have seen what happens when you don't get enough oxygen. Now, who can tell me what's happened when you breathe in oxygen?
It's going to your lungs.
That's right. Then what happens?
Does it get absorbed in your bloodstream?
Oh, right again, Karen. And then?
Your blood carries the oxygen to all different parts, including your brain, so babies who don't get enough oxygen can get cerebral palsy. The brains don't get enough oxygen to help them develop properly.
That's exactly right, Karen. That's what happened to Lisa, the girl who is going to join us in a few weeks.
Everyone looked shocked when they heard this. They all were silent for a moment. Then, suddenly, everyone started asking questions all at once.
Can you talk? Can you walk?
一起女学。
Very easy, right?
一会儿就会。
I'll try to answer all your questions. Last one first. She's been going to a special school up until now. Her therapists and teachers feel that she is ready to join us in regular classroom. Lisa has worked very long and hard. She talks with a little difficulty. We can get used to that. She wears braces on her legs and her gait is a little uneven, but she can get around on her own. She may not be able to play basketball, but I hear she is a whiz at math. Karen?
Mr.Porter, I think I know Lisa. Her mother is a friend of my mom's. In fact, we were born in same hospital. Lisa is very brave girl. She's worked hard to get where she is today.
The class offered lots of ideas for the next hour, and Mr. Porter listed them on board. In the end, they decided they wanted to raise some money for research on cerebral palsy and other muscular disorders affecting kids. But how? They went back to brainstorming.
We will sell candy.
No, the soccer team is already doing that. They are raising money for a new field.
Why don't we put on a show? We'll charge for the ticket.
No, it would take too much time. We would need a lot of help to put something like that together.
How about the walk-a-thon?
That sounds good. What do we have to do?
Well, we can ask people to volunteer to walk a few miles. We will come up with a day and a route to walk. Before the walk, each walker will sign up sponsors. Each sponsor will pay a few dollars for every mile that the person walks.
That's a great idea. My mom runs in a race like that every year to raise money.
Mr. Porter, tell us what we need to do to set up this walk-a-thon.
I guess the first thing we need to do is get permission from the school.
That's right. We would like to go to Mr.Forgle and ask him for permission.
That day, after school, Karen and Dave walked over to Mr.Forgle's office. Mr.Forgle was the school principal.
Karen, Dave, what brings you here? Not in any trouble, I hope.
Not at all. You see, Mr. Forgle, Dave and I want to ask you for a permission.
Permission for what?
Permission to hold walk-a-thon. You see, our class would like to raise money for research to kids who have muscular disorders. Mr. Porter, we want to hold it here at the school tech.
Well, I think it sounds like a great idea. I love to see students helping a good cause. You have my full support.
While they were walking home together, Dave and Karen talked about their plans.
He said, we would like to do it just like that.
I know, Dave. Now come the cool part. Getting walker for walk-a-thon will take a lot of hard work. We will have to talk to every student in the school. We want as many as possible.
We also need to ask each walker to get as many sponsors as possible. We can only raise a lot of money if we have a lot of walkers and a lot of sponsors.
At the school next day, Deb and Karen told the class about their talk with Mr. Forgle. They also explained the hard work that lay ahead.
This won't be easy, but it will be worth it. Believe me.
I want to raise money for muscular disorder for you as you want, but there are still hundreds of students in my school. Yay!
It has to be done. We are the ones who have to do it.
Karen and Deb suggested that the class divide into teams, one team for each grade in the school. Then, each team would meet with students to recruit walkers for the walk-a-thon. For the next week, the teams met every day and reported their progress to the class.
I had a great luck with the grader. All of them are allowed to be walker. One girl named Sue. Her mom is a medical researcher.
A medical researcher.
That's right. She looked to find ways to cure disease. She knows all about cerebral palsy. And Suphatsorn is a physical therapist. He helps people walk and move around better. He works with many people who have cerebral palsy or other muscular disorders and who must walk with artificial support.
Okay, team. How many walkers did you get?
Deb wrote the grade and the number of workers on the board. In all, about 20 kids had volunteered to walk.
That's good.
How many miles are the walkers supposed to walk?
We are going to walk about 5 miles.
Karen and Deb then handed out forms for the walkers to use to sign up their sponsors. That way, the kids could keep track of the money they raised. On the big day, Karen and Deb were pleased to see that all of the walkers who signed up arrived at the school track to take part in the walk-a-thon.
Dave, congratulations, we have get turn out.
Thanks, Mr. Porter.
Because of you, Mr. Porter, you did such a good job of teaching us about cerebral palsy, so we had to do something to help.
I know we are going to raise a lot of money.
As workers lined up to begin, Mr.Forgle gave a speech.
Thank you all for coming today. This is a great cause. It's wonderful to see so many caring people. I also want to thank Nattarat Thammasuntra and Theerachot for making this happen. We appreciate all your hard work.
Karen stepping up to the microphone. She has something special to say.
I want to thank you all coming today, especially our walker. In fact, I would like to introduce one special walker to you. This is Lisa. She is new to our school. Lisa, everyone at Olivia Elementary want to say welcome.
Lisa stepped out in front of the crowd. She stood there proudly for a moment beside Karen and Deb. Then she went to take her place in the walk-a-thon lineup. The walk-a-thon was a huge success. It earned even more money than Karen and Deb had expected. And everyone got to know Lisa. In fact, they had so much fun that they decided to hold the walk-a-thon again in the following year.